Good morning, class. Day 2 of Procedures 2. I hope everybody was able to get logged in to both Remind and Google Classroom. I know the first day of the module is always kind of hectic trying to get everybody in and get all the assignments and everything in and kind of view everything. And it's always kind of tough, but we're getting there. I think I got everybody in our class for this morning into both Remind and Google Classroom. But if you are having any trouble and for some reason you aren't on there, please message me. I can help you get in. I hope everyone had a chance to review the notes for this week. I know that tomorrow we are going to, those of you that can come in at 9 o'clock, are going to come in and we're going to work on some checkoffs and try to get started on some of those. We got a lot of checkoffs this month, so the sooner we can get started, the better off we're going to be in the end. So I want to go over these notes with you. That way we can review a little bit for the test, because I know that most of you are going to be in here tomorrow with me. So we're going to start with chapter 18. It's over microbiology, and basically what is microbiology? It's to understand the nature of pathogens and know how they prevent disease and the transmission in the dental office, okay? It's the study of microorganisms. What's the difference between pathogenic and non-pathogenic? So basically, pathogenic just means it's a disease-producing microorganism in humans. Non-pathogenic is not going to produce disease in humans, okay? Be important to know the difference between those two. Know that the virus is the smallest of all of the major groups. So we had how many major groups that were listed in our notes? There's 5, okay? 5 major groups: bacteria, algae, protozoa, fungus, and viruses. Viruses being the smallest. They can cause a lot of trouble, but they are actually the smallest of the major group. All right, viruses in the environment. So let's talk about that real quick. So what do we know about viruses in the environment? Okay, they can be destroyed easily, and chemicals such as you got iodine, chlorine, formaldehyde. These are going to be used to effectively destroy viruses on surfaces and objects that they come in contact to. And then we're going to move on. We're going to talk about the hepatitis virus. So we got the Hep A virus to start off with. This can affect anybody, okay? And it is transmitted through fecal oral. This means that when you go to the bathroom and you're not washing your hands, this is how that's going to get transmitted. So, of course, hand washing will be preached to you throughout the rest of your life, and probably has been since the day you were born, how important it is. But it is one of the easiest ways to prevent the spread of infection is hand washing. Then we have hepatitis B. So this is going to be the one that presents the greatest risk to all dental personnel, okay? All dental personnel with a chance of occupational exposure should be vaccinated against the Hep B virus. If y'all have not done that yet, I'm sure that you guys will be here before long. And before you get out into the field and working, you'll get a little card that shows that you've had both of your vaccinations for the Hep B. And this is just to help protect yourself out there, okay? The herpes virus. So herpes zoster, which is basically, it's just shingles, okay? And shingles can be caused by chickenpox. It can cause herpes, and it can also cause measles. Tuberculosis is going to be the leading cause of death from infectious disease worldwide. The kill time is the benchmark for the effectiveness of surface disinfectants. So this is how they determine what that benchmark is going to be, by the kill time of the tuberculosis, okay? That's where that comes from. Your tetanus, which is also known as lockjaw. A lot of y'all may have heard it called that before. It is extremely dangerous, and it can be fatal, okay? And it's caused by spore-forming bacteria found in soil, dust, animal, and human feces, okay? This is why we also get vaccinated for our tetanus, right? syphilis is a sexually transmitted disease or sexually transmitted infection. It's gray, white, moist. It causes little mucus patches that are found on the tongue, the floor of the mouth, the tonsils, and the inner surface of the lips, and it's highly, highly infectious, okay? It's a generalized measles-type rash, has kind of like when you get chicken pox, you get those little pox that have little pustules in them. That's basically what it looks like, too. All right, now we'll move on to chapter 19. This is disease transmission and infection prevention, okay? The chain of infection in order. It's virulence, it's the strength of the pathogens, ability to cause the disease, the number of microorganisms is high enough number to overwhelm the body's defense, okay? The susceptible host, which would be the individual who is in poor health, under stress, or somebody that has a compromised immune system that cannot resist infection, okay? And then they have to have a portal of entry, so it's going to be what? Airborne or bloodborne. Different types of infection. You have acute infections. These are going to be like your common colds. They have a rapid onset, but normally only last a short period of time. Your chronic infections are going to be more like your HIV infections that are going to last a long time. They have a long duration. And then we have latent infections. Those are going to be like your oral herpes simplex, cold sores. They're inactive, but they can still be transmitted to others. And then you have different modes of transmission. There can be either direct transmission. This is through person-to-person contact. So if you were unprotected with an infectious lesion or infected body fluids, that's how that could be transmitted. Indirect transmission occurs when microorganisms are transmitted to an object or a surface, and then they're transferred to another person who touches that. So that's why it's really important to go in and disinfect our rooms every time we're done, in between every patient. It doesn't matter if a patient just came in, they sat there, all doc did was come in and sit with them. You change those barriers, you wipe it down, you treat it just like any other room, like you would have done a surgery in it or anything else in there, okay? Every room, every time, has to be wiped down in the same way, okay? It's not only to protect yourselves, protect your patients too. Airborne transmission, this is going to be from droplet infections. Droplets and moisture, so sneezing, coughing. Aerosol, sprays, or spatter. This depends on the size of the particles, and it's generated during the dental procedure, and it's capable of remaining airborne for extended periods of time, and it can be inhaled. So this is why we always want to use our PPE, right? Gloves, mask, goggles if needed. These are all to protect us and to also protect our patients. What is immunity? Immunity is what allows our body to resist disease and prevent foreign bodies from causing us infection. So there's different types of immunity that we have. So you have naturally acquired immunity. This occurs when a person has previously contacted a disease. So our immune system has built up antibodies already, right? And this is what helps us to fight these diseases off in the future. And then you have your artificial acquired immunity. This is what we get vaccinated for. We get immunizations to help build our immunity. So that's called artificially acquired immunity, okay? Disease transmission in the dental office. So there's different ways that diseases can be transmitted to us, right? So patient to the dental team, eyes, nose, and mouth. That's why it's always important that we always protect ourselves. We always treat everybody like they are potentially infected, okay? The dental team to the patient. If we're not practicing good PPE, good hygiene, good dental practices, we can infect our patients by not doing that, not properly wiping things down, having things sterilized, and then also patient to patient. Somebody comes into the office, they have something, but they said, I'm going to go ahead and come to the dental office anyways. They're sneezing, coughing, touching everything. These things can all be spread, you know, from patient to patient. They're coming in, they're sitting in those same chairs, they're sitting in the waiting room, they're touching the same doorknob. And then the dental office to the community, and then the community to the dental office to the patient, okay? And the most common route of disease transmission is going to be through direct contact. This is by touching with the patient's blood or saliva. Exposure control plan. Every dental office is going to have this. It's a written exposure control plan, and it describes the policies and the standards that will be in every dental office, probably posted in the break room. Make sure that you review, and it should be updated annually as well, and every employee is to get a copy of that. So we always use universal precautions when we're out in the dental field, when we're working. We will treat everybody with the basic concept that all human blood and body fluids are to be treated as they are infected with bloodborne disease, such as hepatitis, Hep C, or HIV, okay? If you have an exposure incident, what should you do? You're supposed to stop operations immediately after the exposure. You're supposed to follow the exposure incident guidelines, report it to your employer immediately after the injury takes place, okay? The first initial first aid should be provided. The employer then will contact the physician or medical personnel and get the employee over there to get checked and make sure that there's not anything. They haven't contacted anything that was infectious, okay? And then you have people with latex allergies. It's always really important. When you pull up your patient's chart, it's going to tell you. That's going to have a big, bold, red letter deal that's going to say latex allergy, okay? It used to be when we had paper charts, we would be written on there and highlighted in red for you. Latex allergy, it's always very important to make sure that allergies are updated at every visit, because everything changes from time to time, and you don't know how long it's been since you've seen that patient and what's happened with them and over that period of time, whether it's been 2 weeks or 6 months or 6 years since you've seen them. Always make sure that you update allergies every time that they come in, and also verify medications. Anaphylaxis, this is basically the most severe allergic reaction that can result in death, okay? People that have latex allergies are going to be very susceptible to anaphylaxis. There are different classifications of waste throughout the dental office. You're going to have your general waste. This is going to be your non-hazardous materials, okay? They should be discarded just in the waste paper basket, just like normal, just a normal trash can, okay? These are going to be like your paper towels and any mixing pads. Contaminated waste. This is something that's been in contact with blood or body fluids. And it depends on the state where you live, how the contaminated waste should be discarded or treated, okay? But it should be treated as infectious waste, okay? Your hazardous waste, this is going to pose a risk to humans and also to the environment. These are going to be your fixer scraper amalgams, extracted teeth with amalgam restorations and stuff like that. Infectious or regulated waste, these are going to be your biohazards, okay? Contaminated waste that is capable of transmitting an infectious disease. These are going to be soft tissue, gloves, blood and saliva soaked gauze, okay? And make sure that you never drink, eat, or smoke, apply cosmetics or lip balms, or handle contact lenses in any areas of the dental office, okay? And never store food or drinks in the refrigerator that contain potentially contaminated items. I mean, I think that's kind of, I don't think you should be told that, but, I mean, you got to say it, you know. You never know. Someone might go put their Mountain Dew in there or something, trying to keep it cold. Your dental prosthesis and impressions should be disinfected as soon as they are removed from the mouth. So, you know, we have our cavi wipes that we wipe down, and we'll go over this whenever you guys come in tomorrow too. So we have our cavi wipes that we wipe our surfaces and everything down. So we have a cabbie spray. So as soon as we're done doing our impression, we spray it with cabbie spray. We do the same thing if somebody came in and they needed their denture repaired. Because I'm going to tell you, these people, as soon as they hit that front dental office, are going to be popping their teeth out and trying to hand them to you like this. Nope. I'm going to go back to the dental lab. I'm going to get me some gloves. I'm going to get me some cabbie spray. I'm going to pull them out from the lobby. I'm going to let them place it in there. I'm going to spray it and disinfect it, and I'm going to take it back to my lab tech and see what we can do to get that denture fixed. Don't grab it in your bare hands. You don't know what that person has. And people just doing crazy stuff sometimes. Like this here, take my teeth. Hang on a second. Hang on a second. And go make sure that you're doing it the right way and going through the right steps. And protect yourself and protect the patient too. And then, of course, always make sure, like, if you're giving them their dentures back, make sure that it's rinsed off before, because you've just sprayed it with disinfectant. Don't let them stick it back in their mouth without it being rinsed off, okay? That would be nasty. So Chapter 49 covers the matrix system for restorative dentistry, okay? So the matrix system creates a temporary interproximal wall for amalgams, composite resins, or intermediate restoration material and external surfaces against which restorative material is packed, okay? Oh, I don't know if you guys have done the matrix band with me whenever you came in, but we will go over it whenever you come in, and also when we're practicing four-handed dentistry. So it's a deal that sits around the tooth. Let me grab one real quick. Hang on. I'll show you. Alright, so this guy here is going to be matrix system, and that's just going to sit around the teeth. It's going to fit around it so that whenever Doc's in there doing his restorative work, it makes it easier to get that material and stuff in there without anything getting on it. Your universal retainer is going to be your matrix band. The Toffelmeyer retainers are positioned on the buccal surface of the tooth that is being restored. Toffelmeyer matrix band, okay? But we'll go over it whenever you're here so that y'all can practice too. Overhang, this is excessive restoration material that extends beyond the cavity or margin, okay? All right, y'all. If you guys have any questions, I will definitely be seeing you guys tomorrow. I hope to see all of you here tomorrow. But if you can't, I totally understand. Like I said, this week we're just doing Wednesday at 9 o'clock. Next week we will do Tuesday, Wednesday, 9 o'clock to go over these skills. And we'll do Tuesday and Wednesday through the rest of this module to try to get everybody in. Like I said, we do have a lot of checkoffs that we're going to be doing. Let me switch this around here so we can go over them. Some of you guys may have already done some of these checkoffs if you have been in with me already. I know we were kind of jumping ahead on some of them, but these are our different checkoffs. Autoclave, cements, matrix band, rubber dam, our barriers, impressions, hand washing, temporary crowns, and study models. So I want you guys to get good and comfortable with doing your impressions, and then we will start making study models. We have ordered some more mixing tips to be able to do temporary crowns, and I want everybody to get a chance to practice and make their own temporary crowns so that you guys can get comfortable with the process of that too. So I look forward to seeing y'all tomorrow, and you guys have a great day. Thanks.